I'm Joanna Small, Public Affairs and Communications Manager for the Lynnwood Police Department. It's Friday, February 4th, and this is your LPD Video Week in Review. Here's a summary of the most notable incidents your Lynnwood police officers responded to over this past week or so. On January 24th, an observant Lynnwood police officer spotted a man who appeared to be using drugs standing next to a closed business. He approached the man and asked what he was doing, but did not detain him. The man provided him a false name when asked, but the officer told him he was still free to leave. After he walked away, the officer ran a record search on the name and found that name was associated as a witness to a court order violation for another person who, it turns out, was the person our officer had contacted. He then relocated the suspect and arrested him on 4 domestic violence warrants out of Everett to include assault. He is now also facing new charges for making false or misleading statements to a public servant. Can you identify either of these people? On February 1st, they went into Best Buy and loaded a cart with several Dyson vacuums, then exited without purchasing the items, which were valued at $5,000. They then loaded the stolen vacuums into the silver sedan you see pictured here. Although both wore masks, the suspect who got into the driver's seat does have visible neck tattoos that may be helpful for identification purposes. If you have any information about these suspects or this crime, call the number that's on your screen. On January 26th, officers responded to a shoplift at Kohl's and instead arrested 2 people in a stolen vehicle on a handful of warrants. They also developed probable cause for the driver of the vehicle, who had left the scene, to be arrested for possession of a stolen vehicle. The shoplifting suspect, who ended up dropping the stolen merchandise inside the store but attempting to get into the stolen vehicle, was arrested for several domestic violence warrants. A woman sitting inside the stolen vehicle was also arrested for warrants, and the driver has been identified but is still outstanding. On January 24th and 25th, officers were called to 2 different LensCrafters stores, one inside the Alderwood Mall Macy's and the other located elsewhere in the mall. 3 times, thousands of dollars in designer frames were stolen. Twice, there were 2 male suspects involved, and once there was a lone male suspect. In one of the incidents, a store employee was shoved out of the way as one of the thieves ran out of the store. Unfortunately, the employees could not provide any surveillance footage that would assist in identifying and arresting these suspects. On January 30th, officers were called to a grocery outlet on Highway 99 for an assault and possible robbery. They contacted the suspect at a bus stop nearby and arrested him. Surveillance footage revealed a violent fight between the suspect and some store employees occurred after the employees attempted to stop the suspect from stealing. He began punching them and eventually pulled a wine bottle out of a backpack and attempted to hit one of the employees on the head, just missing and instead striking his shoulder. As the suspect was leaving, he began screaming and yelling at a customer in the parking lot, then kicked her shopping cart with such force that it hit a parked vehicle and actually did cause some minor damage. Officers attempted to transport the subject to the Snohomish County Jail, but he remained hysterical, screaming, crying, and thrashing in the backseat of the patrol vehicle. Once at the jail, it was deemed his heart rate was too high for booking, and officers instead took him to the hospital. He's facing second-degree robbery charges for the incident. On February 2nd, officers were dispatched to a parked vehicle on Highway 99 for a report that a male was punching a female inside the SUV. When we arrived, we found the female driver in tears with a bloody face. There was an adult male in the back seat who was agitated and yelling. A shopping cart and groceries were strewn all around the vehicle. The driver told us her adult son was having a mental health episode and that he had punched her in the face. Officers utilized de-escalation techniques to calm the suspect down and get him to safely exit the vehicle and cooperate with medics who were standing by. Because of the mental health issue, the suspect was transported to the hospital for an involuntary commitment and evaluation. He also faces domestic violence assault charges for the incident. And finally, if you follow us on social media, you've seen the warning. Please do not leave your vehicle running with the keys inside to warm it up in the morning. We've seen nearly 40 car thefts in just the past month, and at least half a dozen of them have been because a vehicle has been left running. Thieves look for active exhaust when they're canvassing neighborhoods in search of vehicles to steal, so don't make yours an easy target. The video you're looking at is from yesterday morning and was captured on the SUV owner's surveillance camera. The theft occurred right in the driveway. That's all for now. We'll see you next time.